कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लुगु लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, Trump claims election was rigged. Water cuts frustrate residents. And school installs 60 security cameras.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Day 4, and there is still no clear winner in the US presidential election, with these re-election chances fading as more votes are counted in a handful of battleground states. President Donald Trump launched an extraordinary assault on the country's democratic process from the White House, falsely claiming the election was being stolen from him. A second day of sometimes dueling demonstrations over the integrity of the US presidential election started early in Philadelphia and other cities. This as ballot counting dragged on in a handful of states that will decide the outcome. Constant water supply disruptions without notice is frustrating residents in certain parts of the Central Division. Families in Tadiroa, Sakotha, Newtown, Cunningham and Samambula say they're left without water most nights. Pranita Prakash reports.
For this father of two, filling up large basins every day has become a routine.
And it comes back at around 4, 5, 6 like that in the morning, yeah.
Families living in this part of Cunningham have to fetch water from relatives and friends in other parts of Suva every day.
We went to our relatives to search water from other areas like Rewang, Samambul like that.
Like every 8 p.m. like that, there's no water here in Cunningham, especially when people come from work, there's no water. Yeah, and we don't have this notice to warn us that there's no water.
When they don't give notice that they're going to cut water, we have to run around. Sometimes we have to go, for example, we have to go to Rewang and go and shower there. And sometimes my siblings, they don't go to school because there's no water.
For many working families in Newtown Nasinu area, there is no water in the evening.
Sometimes we have problem at home too. My husband is a taxi driver, so normally when he comes home, there's no water for him.
We always come back from the farm. There's no water. Around 9:30 we always leave the farm, and by the time we reach here, there's no water for us to bath. So we have to wait until morning time.
Families are questioning the water authority on what is being done to rectify these issues. FBC News has sent questions to the water authority, which is yet to respond. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
In an effort to protect its investments, the Gujarat Education Society has installed 60 new CCTV cameras at Mahatma Gandhi High School in Nambour Suva. Opening a new $5 million complex at the school, Society President Kamlesh Kumar says the cameras will help monitor movement around the building. Kelly Vadala reports this will also ensure the safety of students and teachers.
The Gujarat Education Society says it wants to provide a modern dynamic learning and teaching environment.
Our brand new computer lab now has 40 new PCs. We have also provided brand new PCs to all heads of schools, HOD teachers, and the administration office to use as well. Network switches are in place for internet connectivity, and considerable funds have been spent on backup and disaster recovery management software for safeguarding of data.
President Kamlesh Kumar says they've had their fair share of challenges in moving a project of such magnitude forward, with the biggest obstacle being funding.
All classrooms now have multimedia projectors as well to enhance teaching, not confined just to the blackboard. To protect this investment, 60 CCTV cameras have been installed around the school premises.
Prime Minister Barenge Bainimarama says the society is setting the needed standards in education.
The Gujarat Education Society can take great pride in what it has accomplished with all its schools. And the new Mahatma Gandhi Memorial High School complex is the jewel of the crown.
The Gujarat Education Society of Fiji operates 4 schools around Fiji. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Unlicensed public service vehicles, including taxis, carriers and minivans, continue to operate illegally in the Northern Division, especially Lambasa. Taxi and bus companies raised the issue with Transport Minister Fayaz Koya during his tour of Lambasa, adding that they are losing revenue. Karoy Tandulala reports.
Owner of Permod Buses, Permod Chand, says carriers are illegally servicing his bus routes despite several warnings.
And there are a lot of private vehicles, and now we have seen these window vans, like minibus type vehicles running up and down, carrying passengers, parking near the bus stand or parking near the service station here, and counting for passengers. And we expect the LTA to be more vigilant.
The Transport Minister reassured those who raised concerns last night that they will be looking into these issues.
We've had, as a ministry, we are actually in talks with the LTA and then all the machinery in LTA to see how we can actually best fix it. So we've started to work on that already. Okay, it's not just you, it's all the operators.
The ministry is also working with bus operators and Vodafone Fiji to ensure e-ticketing machines in the north are fully functional and put in place measures to avoid assault against drivers. Corey Tandulala, FBC News.
Up ahead, reoffending rate drops. And tsunami warning sirens for Lambasa.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
As corrections officers study prison reform, the Fiji Corrections Service has noted a significant decrease in the reoffending rates in the last financial year. As compared to the previous 2.5% rate of former inmates returning to prison, the FCS this year recorded a 1.7% rate with only 22 recidivists. Vinina Rakautonga has more.
The drop in rate is proof of the success of their rehabilitation programs.
Those who have gone through rehabilitation programs, particularly the treatment of offenders, those who we see that they have changed, we've seen some changes in their performance, their work output, good work output.
Meanwhile, 21 officers in charge today graduated with a certificate in Mandela Rulers, a universal minimum standards on the treatment of prisoners. They went through a 14-week course focused on prison reform in line with international standards.
We will allow this first lot to do in-house training to those under their command, just to enable them to understand the content of this e-learning course, particularly on the management and treatment of prisoners under OKI.
Director Fiji Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission Ashwin Raj says the course is important for all corrections service personnel to undertake.
It doesn't mean much if we're not going to materialize them. It's okay if you walk around the various prison, departments and you see relevant quotes and all of that and posters and all of that. It's a lugubrious consolation because it really needs to translate, it needs to be distilled on the ground.
This was the inaugural program for the Fiji Corrections Service in line with its shift from containment to corrections. Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
Tsunami sirens will now also be installed in Lambasa. This was highlighted during the World Tsunami Awareness Day yesterday. The National Disaster Management Office, in collaboration with the Seismology Unit, conducted a tsunami drill with the University of the South Pacific at its Lambasa campus. The NDMO wants the public to understand the importance of evacuation and to adhere to warnings and signs as they tighten operations to install the tsunami sirens. Minister Chonio Sumate says it is important to raise awareness of tsunamis and also share innovative approaches to risk reduction. The NDMO also has plans to install 25 tsunami sirens between the Lami-Lautoka corridor. A military police officer has testified in court that he was responsible for the safety of accused murderer Tevita Konawave, despite what he had allegedly done. Konawave is charged with the murder of his 4-month-old daughter in October last year. It's alleged he threw a concrete block at his wife, but it hit their daughter instead, causing her death. Military police officer Matthew Sanganivere today testified that he took Konawave into custody, fearing what relatives of the deceased would do if they got hold of him. The MP admitted to not contacting police straight away, saying he wanted Kunawave safe because he was a fellow military officer. The court also heard that Sanganivere allowed the accused to enter the crime scene and change his clothes after his daughter was taken to hospital. The trial continues in the Suva High Court. Pest and diseases management, sustainable agriculture and genetic resources are some of the major focus of the Secretariat of the South Pacific. While officiating at the SPC Open Day at Narere, Land Resources Division Director Karen Mapusua says they do extensive research to ensure food security for Pacific Island countries. Saniani Boiler reports.
We have some leaflets that explain a bit of...
The Land Resources Division works closely with farmers to ensure food is safe and sufficient.
So our division is all about contributing to resilient communities from the agriculture perspective and from how agriculture also contributes to health. So we play a really important role in supporting the whole of the food system from the production end. No farmers, no food. And the farmers are our target. They're people that we work with closely.
Public Health Department Director Sunia Soakai says they work with SPC member countries for safety from NCDs and the recent COVID-19 pandemic.
Our work covers non-communicable diseases, clinical and nurse workforce, surveillance preparedness, and in more recent days, health system strengthening. Understandably, we have been preoccupied with COVID. We are supporting countries with their preparedness and response activities.
The SPC Narere campus also houses the Global Center for Taro, which hosts the largest collection of taro diversity in the world, as well as the Pacific's first regional plant health lab. Sainiani Boila, FBC News.
It will be a night of entertainment and enjoyment at tomorrow's Mirchi FM and Radio Fiji 2 Diwali Doom. FBC Manager Radio Program Shami Lochan Lal says this year's Diwali Doom will be unique. For the first time, the annual celebration is being held at the gymnasium. Lal adds there will be several competitions where Fijians will be able to showcase their talents.
We have Diwali poster competition, we have Dandiya competition. So this is Fiji's biggest Dandiya competition. We have more than 9 groups who are taking part in this competition from all over Fiji. Big groups are coming to take part in this Dandiya competition. Rangoli competition as well, poster competition for children. A fashion show will be by our radio team.
All festivals celebrated by the Fijian Broadcasting Corporation are with great fanfare. Mirchi FM Programs Director Ashnil Singh says the Diwali Doom will bring together people from across cultures. Kritika Kumar has this report.
Ashnil Singh says Diwali is a festival of unity in diversity.
Mirchi FM Radio Fiji 2 Diwali Dhoom is a multicultural event. So we have participants from our sister radio stations, Bula FM, Radio Fiji 1. They'll be taking part, and we have been following up with them, and they are really excited. They are bringing sweets, making sweets, and Diwali thali, and they are really looking forward for this event tomorrow.
Singh says an event like this can light up the richness of culture, as Diwali has evolved from an Indian festival into a uniting multicultural celebration.
Fiji is a multicultural country, and we're living in a country where we celebrate all the festivals together. We are really looking forward for tomorrow, where people of Fiji, all the Fijians can come and celebrate Diwali with us. We'll have an open floor dance where you can come and dance with us.
Manager Radio Programs Shami Lochan Lal says all cultures and people will be participating in an event that brings people together.
So apart from Mirchi FM and Radio Fiji 2, we have had interests from Bula FM and Radio Fiji 1, our Ituki participants who are cooking vegetarian Diwali dishes to participate in Diwali Thali competition, and we'd like to thank our Bula FM and Radio Fiji 1 participants.
The Mirchi FM and Radio Fiji 2 Diwali Dhoom will be held at the gymnasium tomorrow from 3 p.m. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
And Whitney joins us now with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up in business tonight, over 100 million in FNPF payouts. And last sugar shipment off to the UK. Stay with us.
pula nadang go aproslan kerse go erkraki do televe ono barong na Radio Fiji One nandomo ibiti.
Radio Fiji One nandomo ibiti.
The Fiji National Provident Fund has now paid out more than 136 million to 177,000 members under the COVID-19 withdrawal scheme. The current payout included 43.7 million government top-up. Chief Executive Chochi Koroi says the fund has continued to facilitate relief payments for members affected by the economic impact of the global pandemic. Koroi says it's been 7 months since the fund activated the COVID-19 withdrawal scheme in partnership with the government. He adds to date there are 7 withdrawal phases, 4 have been completed while 3 are ongoing. The final bulk sugar export of 2020, destined for the United Kingdom, has been completed. The 30,000 tons of bulk raw sugar left Fiji on October 31st. As at Monday, the 3 sugar mills crushed over 1.5 million tons of cane, with a cumulative crush to date 5% higher than in 2019. Lambasa has crushed 3% more than last year, Lautoka 1% and Rarawai 11% more. Milling output and performance to date continue to be better than for the past 2 seasons, with average weekly mill stoppages 19% lower. We now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
The US dollar remains sluggish as the prospect of a divided US presidential election reduces the chance of major policy changes. Although it is not clear who will win, analysts said more US fiscal stimulus is on the cards regardless of the outcome. An earlier promise by the Federal Reserve to keep monetary policy loose and do whatever it takes to sustain economic recovery weighed on the greenback. This morning, the US Federal Reserve held its benchmark interest rates unchanged between 0 to 0.25%. A softer US dollar supported the Japanese yen, which was near an 8-month high, while riskier assets such as the Aussie dollar jumped to a 6-week high. The Reserve Bank of Australia has released its November monetary policy statement, saying the coronavirus pandemic will have long-lasting effects and that their GDP is unlikely to return to its pre-pandemic level till the end of next year. And that's all from HFC Bank for this week. Vinaka.
Here today's local exchange rates as set early this morning. The Fiji dollar rose against the Chinese yuan and the US dollar as well as the kina. As often happens, a rise in the greenback signaled a drop for the Sangamoli versus the Aussie and Kiwi dollars, as well as the euro and the yen. Prices were mixed on the commodities market. Oil was on the descent to just above $38 a barrel. Gold rose $37 to $1,941 per ounce, and silver closed up at $25.77 per ounce. Nandi International Airport has been awarded the Airport Health Accreditation. It is the first airport in the South Pacific to receive the award from Airports Council International, thanks to the Travel Safe program, which prioritizes the health and safety of passengers. The accreditation serves as reassurance to regulators and travelers that all health precautions are in place for the safe resumption of travel. Minister for Economy Aya Syed Kium says with no local cases in over 200 days, Fiji's coronavirus containment is the most effective in the world. The minister says as development partners see success in containing the virus, Fiji is actively seeking to re-establish economically vital flows of trade, tourism and human capital. And that's it from Business Tonight. We now join Jamie with the latest in sports.
Naka Whitney, and good evening in sports tonight. Highlanders out to stop Stallions. And 2 champs in same pool for Fiji Fat. This and more coming up.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Despite previous results, Naita Siri plan to come out guns blazing in their Skipper Cup semi-final against Nanronga tomorrow. The Highlanders have beat Nanronga twice already this season, but know that means nothing in the business end of the competition. Karlaini Tavi has more.
Head coach Ilatia Tuisese does not want a repeat of the 2019 Skipper Cup semi-finals when Nandronga edged Naita Siri 33-31.
For us, we didn't really play well in the first 40 minutes. We conceded about 3 tries. And for us, we need to start with the bang. We need to start right and play to our game plan and stay in the fight all the time.
Fielding a young team is a gamble that has paid off for the Highlanders in their 2020 Skipper Cup campaign.
Boys have to work at what's in front of them. Right? Whatever opportunity comes, and then to play according to our game plan, and at the same time to trust their instinct and work on what's in front of them and play to what suits them best.
Naita Siri's humility on and off the field has been a highlight as they continue to raise the bar.
I just told them, most of them, this is the first time for them to come to play in the finals, so they have to create their own legacy.
Vuate Karaolevu, the youngest player in the Naita Series side, knows how important this game is.
Whenever you're playing with a big team like this, you should always give your best. And it's a mentality. The team that really wants it the most will show it on the outcome on Saturday.
The much-anticipated Naita Siri Nandronga clash will take place at Ratu Takamba Park in Osori at 3 p.m. Carlini Tavi, FBC Sports.
The final tournament on the Fiji Football Association calendar promises to bring out the best in the 8 participating teams. The Vodafone Fiji Fact Pools have been drawn with 2 champion teams in the same group. Aquila Dama has the details.
Defending IDC champion Lambasa and BOG winners Rewa are in Pool A with Mba and Nasinu for the Fiji Fact.
Look at what happened in Courts IDC on the first day. You can't take any teams unlikely. And there are teams that are fighting for survival, and there are teams that want to make sure they perform the best for their fans in the last tournament of the year.
Fiji Fact champions Nandi heads Pool B with Suva, Lautoka and Navua. The capital city side knows their pool is just as challenging as Pool A.
We can't be underestimating any of the teams in any of the pools. If you look at the performance of Lautoka and IDC, they played the finals. So yes, we are taking every team seriously, and both pools are evenly matched.
Due to the pandemic, the tournament was moved to this month.
This will be played at Subrel Park in Napasa from 25th to 29th, and of course a weekend earlier there will be 2 double headers in Vidilevu.
The Fiji Fact winner gets $17,000 and runners-up will walk away with $5,000. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Nasinu Football's position in the Vodafone Premier League will be determined tomorrow when they take on Navua in the last round of the competition. The Giant Killers must win the game to have a place in the 2021 league, while a loss will see them off to the senior division. Tali Materakula reports.
Nasinu football coach Tangi Vonalangi says expectations are high and the players are aware of what they need to do.
It's a do or die. Yeah, the boys here know how important this game is, and we'll go in and do our best for this Sunday and keep our fans happy for the game against Navua.
The return of several players has boosted the morale of the team.
With this inclusion of players that have joined us again, we have I'm confident with the bench. Yeah, and it's come in the last minute, in the last game, but we're just hoping that come the game on Sunday, we'll have a good game, and we'll give in all our best to maintain our premier stats.
Striker Robert Rambidi says they owe their loyal fans a win.
That it's dying stages, so if you go down to Navua or a draw, will put us back to senior division. So we'll try our best and make the supporters proud.
Who stays and who goes will be known after 7 p.m. tomorrow when Nasinu takes on Navua at the Uprising Sports Center. Tale Materkula, FBC Sports.
The Suva Volleyball Association has recorded a spike in the number of participating teams in the Digicel Weekly League. 22 men's and 9 women's teams have confirmed their participation this year, a significant increase from the 11 that competed last season. Tali Materakula with the details.
Top teams have confirmed their spots to battle in the 24-week-long competition.
Adventures
These are former students of the University of the South Pacific. They have formed a team, and they are the men's champion at the moment. We have the two police teams preparing well for the Schooner Bowl competition, as well as their counterparts, the Red Diamonds. We have teams like Drifters, a old team from Suva. Now they have joined, they have come back into the competition.
Aiming to defend their title, Avengers player Rusiate Valentine says it's one match at a time for them.
The players have been preparing well for the league. We are defending champions and will try our best to win.
The Suva Volleyball Weekly League will start at 9 a.m. tomorrow at the multipurpose court in Lothal Bay, Suva. Tale Materkula, FBC Sports.
The Fiji National Rugby League will be introducing a new premium men's competition for the 2021 season. Still in the planning phase, the competition will be similar to the current Vodafone Banua Cup and State of Origin format. The top 8 teams that qualified for the Vodafone Banua Cup quarterfinals tomorrow will have direct qualification to the revamped Premier format. FNRL Acting Chief Executive Don Natambe says the new contest is another way of further developing elite rugby league in the country.
Host tournament concept mirrors the 2015 top 8 format and structure, and at this time we're also studying, among many other prerequisites, for how to find the teams that will be selected to qualify into the New Year's competition.
In play of the day, number 12 seed Stan Wawrinka turned around a first set rout to upset the in-form Andrei Rublev and grab the last spot in the Paris Rolex Masters quarterfinals. That's it from Sports Tonight.
Baik tu dia tahu Radio Fiji बहुत Radio Fiji रोज सुनता हूँ.
Radio Fiji 2 देश की धड़कन.
And Angie joins us now with the latest in weather.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather World. Great weather conditions today. Feels better with Friday, and now we have the weekend mode on. Now most of us saw sun smiling upon us. What about the other centers? Let's find out. In the west, little odd showers were a disturbance, but overall great weather for skydiving. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, clear to cloudy conditions, pretty humid too, so stay hydrated. And up north, sunny skies to be exact. Temperatures soared up to 34 degrees. At sea, it's calm as southeast winds gusts from 15 to 20 knots. Now turning to the tides, high tide at 11:17 p.m. with low tide at 5:54 a.m. Sunrise will be at 6:24. For tomorrow, it will be an amazing night of fun and dance at the Mirchi FM and Radio Fiji 2's Diwali Tomb happening at the FMF Gymnasium. So be sure to be there and enjoy the night under great conditions. Tomorrow's temps, Savu Savu will be the coolest at 28 degrees. And looking further on to Sunday, Diwali cleaning will definitely be under sunny skies. That's all from the weather side. It's back to Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse, we asked, who do you think will make the Skipper Cup final?
I think it will be Naita Siri who will win the Skipper Cup competition this year.
Definitely Namosi because they have been preparing really well.
It will be Naita Siri. That's my team.
I'm cheering for Suva all the way.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, Trump claims election was rigged. Water cuts frustrate residents. And school installs 60 security cameras. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. A poll question we're asking: should those found breaching LTA laws in buses be prosecuted? Visit our FBC website to answer. And on to our shot of the day, final one for this working week. It's the University of the South Pacific Bure, captured beautifully by Paul Tavo. And be sure to send us newsworthy pictures and videos to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Ni Modamamba.
कुमार स्वामी नायक है गोंगवा लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।